Hey, what's going on, Facebook family? Alright, I already know, given this title, most motherfuckers won't tune in because they'll look at me and say, well, you don't have any kids, so how the fuck can you tell me about parenting? That is why I can tell you about parenting. Because parents have, parents looking at other people parent children, they have the wiggle room. They, oh, well, it's not my kids. I don't get to say, fuck that. As a human being, I know what's personally acceptable on how you treat a kid. Here's what I mean. Intrinsic. All right, first, I'm not going to pretend like I'm some fucking collegiate scholar or any of this shit. This is just something that I learned today, and I realized something. You take what you learn and you apply it to yourself, and then you make realizations. I realized that my upbringing was based on the extrinsic style of parenting. By that I mean I was motivated I was motivated by outside forces to do the right thing. And you would think that's not necessarily a bad idea. Here's why. Here's what I'm getting at. When I was a kid, I was told to go to school, do good, and all this stuff. And if I didn't, I get my ass whipped. Now, most people be like, "Well, yeah, that's normal because if you don't get your ass beat, you wouldn't learn lessons, right?" Here's where it goes bad. If the punishment for doing bad in school, non-complying for not saying the wrong thing, speaking out of turn, being disrespectful, if it was always violent, if that was always my punishment, it becomes a point where, as a child, I thought violence was a natural answer. Like it was just a means to an end. Anybody who knew me during my elementary childhood, like from 8 to about 10, I guess I don't know when I remember fifth grade. Fifth grade. Anybody who knew me when I was in fifth grade, fighting, habitual, and it was teachers. If any of my teachers, my elementary school teachers, can watch this and can attest to this, if they pretty much all of them knew if you call if a teacher at 8 o'clock called my house, any teacher after 8, you weren't going to have a good day with me because I already knew I was getting my ass whipped. So being good and having my mom having my nana get called in art ruined fucking English after lunch because my ass was getting beat. And I don't get to say, all right, I was bad in art, but at least I was good in English. No, because my nana was beating my ass. Now, here's the problem with that. It became a point where I thought might makes right. If I was stronger than you, if I was going to swing first on you, you do not get to tell me a fucking thing. Anybody who was in my fifth grade class, and this is a horrible story, and I still feel bad. Not still. I felt bad about this for a long time. Anybody who knew me, I remember it. It was Miss Davis' class. We were doing Jeopardy. They said, "How long is a day?" I said 12 hours. Your schoolhood girlfriend. Well, obviously I was wrong. It's 24 hours in the day. And I got fucking angry. I said, no, motherfucker. Like, motherfucker, it's 12 fucking hours a day, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. It's a day. And everybody tried to counter it. No, it's 24. You just got the question wrong. You don't relax, calm down. And I started swinging. And I hit my not high school, my fifth grade girlfriend in the face, and I blacked her eye. Now, that's a shitty fucking story, right? But what no one knew, less than 12 hours before this whole thing happened, I read in the book 24 hours a day. And I told my Nana, I said, Nana, did you know it's 24 hours in a day? She said, no, it's not, it's 12. I said, no, right here in this book, it says 24. She punched me in the face. Now, I was a kid, I'm crying. How many hours in a day? Like a battered wife. 12, 12. So when I took that to school, history repeated itself. Now, here's where this whole thing started out. I tend to believe that I'm even willing to bet sometimes most that most single women, and I'm not going to go into single women of kids of mostly boy kids, because if you've ever been around a single mother and see how they discipline their boy children as opposed to their girl children. When they strike their boy children, you think they fucking hitting grown ass men that they just met on the street. But most single women, most single parents, let me not say single women, most single parents learn or try to parent through violence, through an outside motivator, which is fucking horrible because what happens when your son is bigger than you? I'm not going to say all kids, all boys swing on their parents, but how old was it because some of the guys who watch this, if you ever going to see it, when you realize, A, that my mom hit me or my grandmother hit me or whoever hit me, it doesn't hurt anymore. Now, if the violence goes on for too much longer, how many of you realize, not only does this not hurt me, but I'm bigger, I'm stronger. If I swing back and I knock the broad bitch the fuck out, like, and that's what we see, and that's the slippery slope that ruling through violence and where that heads you. Because again, maybe your kid won't fucking swing on you in your house. Maybe he won't. Maybe your child won't attack you. But how many of y'all knew kids when y'all were in school who mom would come up and would fuck them up in the classroom? And I mean beat their ass to the point where it's funny at like a minute, 2 minutes. But after like 5-10 minutes, it's no longer funny. And then the mom stop beating their ass and turn and look at them. And if any of y'all say something, I come back and fuck all y'all up. How many? I've seen that shit. I seen a mom beat 2 brothers behind that shit. And the fucked up thing was, the first brother wasn't even bad. It was the little brother wasn't even bad. It was the big brother who was fucking up. And the little brother had to get to eat the ass whipping just so, don't be like your brother. Like, it was fucking wild. But the thing about it was, when he, when after his mom left, and after, he stopped crying and shit, he looked around and everybody who was smiling and giggling and pointing, they caught hell after that. Like, cause again, you demasculated a man, a male, in front of his peers. And what do you think gonna happen? You think, oh man, my nana came in and whipped my ass with a switch. Yeah, I'm gonna learn to shut the fuck up. Or when she leave, whoever fucking say you something, I swear to God, I'ma fuck them up. Because that's the way. Violence breeds violence breeds violence. What is it? I wrote it down earlier, and it was that aggression, verbal or physical, is a learned action through observation. Like, if you see a kid, somebody take a toy from them, and when the toy gets taken from them, and they just look and they look at their parents and they don't fucking take it back or hit them back or any of that shit, you're teaching your child that violence is an acceptable answer. Now let me be clear. I'm not saying raise a bunch of punk asses. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, every instance, every action can't be responded with a threat or violence. Pure and simple. Kids gonna be kids, gonna be kids. I heard this shit. I heard this one. What the fuck was it? Hey, you better do what I tell you. I'm gonna kick you in the chest. Nigga, he 4. He's supposed to be fucking acting. Well, not acting. He's supposed to be fucking. Hey, you better sit down later. Listen, I'm a grown ass man, and you ain't gonna be yelling at me. Like, I hear the way parents treat. I hear the way parents talk to kids now. And again, I'm very biased about this. I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, but anybody who watched those old TV shows, The Family Matters, the what is it? What is The Family Matters? Will Smith, the Fresh Prince. Anytime you ever seen Uncle Phil talk to his kids, and he was raising, he had what? 3 kids, fucking damn near 4, because Will just came to stay with him, which is a better uncle than most of the motherfuckers. Well, some of them that I know. And never once did he ever threaten violence to any of them. He fucked Jazz up, but Jazz ain't his kid, so he get to do, that's just some strange nigga that came to the house. So he get fucking leeway on that. But anytime he was talking to his kids, or any of them, the threat of violence was never there. It was always understanding and walking you through. Listen, you fucked up here. This is why you don't do that. Even when Will and them got pulled over by the cops, how many times do parents get fucking, what's the word? How many times do cops or school police, any of that shit get involved? I'll tell you this story right now. Any of you Any of you who know me and my sister's dad, especially during elementary school, I was like during elementary school I was fighting. This time I was fighting a dude, so get off my ass with that. So me and this dude, we was having a fight. And you know, when I was a kid, I was like a little pit bull. I ain't gonna lie to you. The fight not over until either I know for a fact I won or until I hit you as good as I felt you hit me. But this shit that this motherfucker did, he blew snot on my shirt. And now it's on my shirt. And we fighting. We got uniform. This was the first time McMichael instituted uniforms. And he tore my shirt and I had snot on it. So anytime I looked down at the snot, I was angry and I was like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm fighting this motherfucker. And, you know, the school police come in and blah, 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 blah. And one of the school police officers took me to the side. And while he's trying to take me to the office, whatever, I'm still trying to push back and, you know, do all this shit to get back outside and fuck this kid up. Because I still got snot on me. Another fight breaks out. And he has to go from where I'm at to go deal with somebody else's shit. So what happened was he pulled out his handcuffs and he handcuffed me to the guardrail. You know, the one that's going up the stairwell. Anybody who know McMichael, you come out from the recess yard, go in, and it's like a triple level stairs, and he handcuffed me to the bottom one. So now I'm stuck sitting there, breathing heavy, with snot on my shirt, with my shirt torn, and now I'm handcuffed to this thing. Now all of a sudden, the recess bell ring. And when the recess bell ring, that means all the kids got to come back inside. And the motherfucker who I was fighting walked in, seen that I was handcuffed here, and now you know niggas do the lion in the zoo with the fresh meat there, like, yeah, nigga, you ain't gonna do shit about it. And now I'm sitting there looking at this fucking handcuff, looking at him, looking at this handcuff, like, man, I'm gonna have to take this L. Luckily, beyond all that shit that happened, before any big bad shit happened, my partners came up, yo, man, look, if you gonna fight this motherfucker, fight him fair. If you fucking if you jump on this man when he handcuffed, we all gonna jump on you, and it is what it is. So this nigga left like a little punk ass. So we go up, he make it back, and we finally go up to the office, and he called my nana house, and thank God my nana wasn't there. She wasn't there, or she didn't pick up, or whatever. So he calls up, and my sister didn't answer the phone. He says, yeah. He says, well, who is this? He says, this is Eric's stepdad. What's going on? Well, you know, your stepson was fighting and he wouldn't break it up and he put him on the phone. Hey, what happened? And I told him, I said, listen, this dude blew snot on my shirt and we fought blah, blah, blah. And while, you know, they did all this stuff, Mole put me in handcuffs. He said, who put you in what? And I said, the school officer put me in handcuffs and handcuffed me to the bar. And then when the kid came in, wait. He put you in handcuffs. And then he left you. And then the kid you were fighting saw you. Get him the phone. Gave him the phone. Apparently, what he said was, oh, don't worry about it. I'm on my way. He never told him what he was coming for. He never told him what any of that shit was about. So, he shows up. And I mean, I won't say he broke any speed limits, but he had to. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I'm not going to say he did it, but he had to have done it. So, he showed up. I don't even think he parked his car. I think he just put it in front of the John, cut the ignition in the middle of the street, and walked in. He came into the office, and this is a public school. So, you know, the office is right outside the auditorium, and, you know, there's a crowd of kids. There's a kindergarten section. He yelled out at the fucking top of his lungs, which one of you motherfuckers handcuffed my son? And all of a sudden, you see just one little fucking... Well, what happened was, he's like, no, fuck that. If I ever hear you handcuff any of my fucking kids, guess what? I'm going to come back up here, but I ain't going to talk. I ain't going to say shit. I'm going to fuck you up. And the person who put me in handcuffs going to take me to jail. Now, the moral of this story is a simple altercation where violence normally was the answer. My nana would have came up, beat my ass, did all this shit without in regards to me getting handcuffed or any of that shit. But another man, a man who, again, I don't say he excused my fighting because that was never the case. I was just giving a listen. You're not supposed to fight in school. Fucking only fight to defend yourself. And yeah, nigga blew snot on you. That shit was foul as motherfucker. But it's not like he gave me a green pass to fucking to not to be a dickhead or whatever. No, but there's levels to the shit. Women don't have some women don't have the understanding to realize, listen, boys do boy shit. Boys are gonna break shit. Boys are gonna fucking, be rowdy. Boys are gonna be loud. If you have a boy child and your answer to whatever the fuck they doing is sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, I guarantee you, sooner or later, your motherfucker gonna fall into the wrong crowd. He gonna do the wrong shit. Well, now that we stuck, now that I went off on a tangent on, on a threat of on violence and all this shit. What I was getting at when I first came up with when this thought first hit me is intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. When I was a kid, I was taught to do the right thing because I don't want to get my ass whipped. Outside, if I was bad, outside fucking shit was gonna fuck me up. So that was my thing about being good. Now, while some people believe, well, yeah, that's the right way to go. Here's where it fucks up at. If you remove the outside, if you remove the somebody gonna fuck you up, what do you have? Like it's like that old saying. If I only do good because I expect something to come back, if I only do good because I think I'm gonna receive a reward, am I a good person? So if I'm only behaving because I know somebody gonna whip my ass when I get home, the moment that those persons get old or die, or the moment I get put out, what's stopping me from doing just whatever the fuck I want? Like that's why you see when, oh well, my kid was bad when he was living with me, so I put his ass out. Well, if he was fucking up when he was living with you, the fuck you just gonna let this little deviant out on the descent madness on the world for? You know what I mean? So here's what I was saying. The reason why you motivate your kids, like, again, I came up in a fucked up situation, and I had a cousin. My firm believes she had it worse than I did, but somehow or another, she didn't do good in school just so she would avoid an ass whipping, which that was pretty sure, that shit. But it seems to me, again, I've never talked to her about why she did good in school. I'm just going by what I know. She did good in school because she wanted success later on in life. She's a doctor somewhere, or learning to be a doctor or some shit. She's doing the Google High-End neurobiology. She is doing all sorts of great shit that a motherfucker like me, I Godspeed to her and all that shit. But she wanted to do good. She wanted to achieve in school so she internally motivates herself. I need to do good in school so that way I can get to a good high school. I want to go to a good high school so I can go to a good college. I want to go to a good college so I can get into a medical field. And when I get into this medical field, I want to go to the best goddamn doctorate school so that way I can become the best doctor in the world, whatever. That's her thing. That was her thinking. My thinking was pretty cut and paste. I need to do good so I don't get my ass whipped. Now the problem is with the logic that I have. When I was 12, I moved away from I moved out of my Nana spot. Now anybody who knew me from 5th grade and met me when I went back to McMichael in 8th, they noticed a change in my behavior. I wasn't as angry as I was before because I wasn't taught that violence was the key. Like violence wasn't always the most important thing. I was around other male role models, people who didn't rely on just straight violence. I could talk, I could laugh, I could joke. Now, it was still fights there, what's up, Mike? It was still fights going on and all that good shit. And all that same, growing up black shit, growing up as a man shit. So, we still had those things, but because it was never just me being angry to be angry, maybe when I was at McMichael, I want to say I fist fought maybe 4 or 5 girls. When I was at Tilden, I think I did 2. All right. Now this one girl, she deserved it because she was fucking plucking. She was doing the Hornets things with the rubber band and the folded up paper. She got me good, and I had marks across the back of my neck behind that shit. So I had to fuck her up and fuck up her boyfriend. So those only 2. And even then, it was never, I was angry and hype about the shit. It was just, they hurt me or whatever, and I had to respond back. That's just how it's that simple. But the difference in those times and those interactions was I was not being motivated from the outs. I was not being motivated by exterior punishments. I was not. If you fuck this up, I'm gonna fuck you up. That was never the thing. Now maybe I'm wrong. If anybody is saying I believe I need to threaten my child with the worst punishment all the time so that way he'll get good, he'll do good, whatever. If that shit works for you, tell me that. But if you raising your child to understand, listen, the way you feel, how you feel when you're angry is not the most important thing. Because again, people lash out and rage all the time, whatever. If you having a bad day, you take it out on somebody else that has nothing to do with your bad day. What is it? What's the evolution I seen? The boss yells at the dad. The dad comes home, yell at the mom. The mom runs home and beats up the kid. The kid kicks the dog. The dog bites the mailman. The mailman comes and shoots up the postal office. Like, if all that shit, like if that level of aggression comes down, and that's just it. The difference, in my opinion, the difference between violence and punishment, abuse and punishment, if you before or after you got your ass whipped as a kid growing up, if you were to ask them, why did you get hit? Why did you get punished? Why did this happen? And it stands up. And it stands up to the test of time. Why did I fuck you up? I stole $40 out of your purse. Okay. Got it. Yeah, Mike. But that's just it. You don't, I won't say you don't, but no one can honestly tell how violence will manifest itself over a long period of time. Like, think about it. Again, I know it's a tragedy, but them Columbine kids, do you think that the football players and all the people who fuck with them, do you think they said, man, pushing these motherfuckers up together, up against the wall and doing all this shit for years and years, that ain't gonna have no negative effect? Or even if it did, the worst that could happen, these motherfuckers gonna swing on us, or they gonna jump us. It's gonna be something, but then that'll be it. You don't get to see, or you don't get to guess and know for a fact where that aggression is gonna show, where it's gonna blow up at. Especially now, like I was reading this list of like the most shocking thing that the quiet kids have done, and it was these some story somewhere, but it was these big football player guys. And they said what the seniors used to do to the freshmen or underclassmen or whatever is they would play freshman pinball. And then you take the freshmen and you bop them up against the lockers and all that shit, right? And one freshman said, "Ow, please stop, you're hurting me." And them being the motherfuckers that they are, they did it harder. And all of a sudden, he turned around, he grabbed one of them across his back and his shoulders and bit him. And I don't mean just he took a chunk of flesh out of the dude's neck, and then he turned to the group and was fucking growling at him, and they never fucked with him again. They called him Wild Dog Mike after that. Whatever. Wild Dog Mike? Nah, I'm playing. But it's shit like that. Like that to me means that somewhere in this motherfucker life, or somewhere in this time, he thought, you know what? Fuck that. And everybody has that moment. I remember if anybody knew me, I remember, who the fuck was it? Somebody who knew me in kindergarten. Because I used to be a little punk bitch. And one dude was fucking with me so bad. And I just said, you know what? I could either be a bitch for the rest of my fucking life, or I could swing and knock this motherfucker the fuck out. And I remember clear as day, 18 some years in the past, I hit this motherfucker square in the nose. I remember the blood coming out. I remember the look of shock on his face. And I remember how good I felt. Now, can you imagine how crazy I would be if I always chased that feeling? If everywhere I go, I wasn't laughing, I wasn't smiling. Anytime I got into a fight, it was always to hurt, maim, or injure, or kill a motherfucker. But that's what teaching through violent parenting through violent gets you. Cause let's just be real. Looking back, and again, and this is the most saddest thing that I can ever think about. If anybody, and mostly black, but mostly black kids can look back on being damn near borderline abused, and that's just that's the what's the word? That's the trials of growing up. That's just one of them things that you just got to deal with. How many times did you get backhanded for saying nah, or you didn't say this, you said that, or I got my lip busted by my nana for biting my nails before church. And check this shit out, I still had to go to church. And then, hey, when you get there, you better not tell them how your fucking lip happened. So now I'm sitting there fucking making up stories like a fucking battered wife. Like, and let's just be real. That is the tamest fucking story I got. Like, it's one of them things that you never fucking know. Like how, like simple shit. Like, hey, what the fuck like, oh my God, let me tell you this shit. I knew this girl. One of her kids was crying. She didn't look up. Hey, you better shut the fuck up. And all I said, we were on the phone. And all I said was, hey, what are you crying for? I don't know. What? You don't get to fucking yell out. What the fuck? If your dog barking in the middle of the night, again, don't equate black men to dogs. Fuck you. Listen to this story. If your dog is barking in the middle of the night, do you yell, shut the fuck up, or do you go and investigate and see what the fuck going on? Because guess what? Her kid was crying, and she said, shut the fuck up, and then when she come out the house or out the room, whatever she was doing, and she checked on her son, and the motherfucker dead because he got bit by a fucking snake. Now we gonna feel bad. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. You didn't fucking pay attention to the signs. I don't know why. I don't know if it's easy. You know what? Yes, it is. Being violent is so much easier than being fucking kind and caring and compassionate. It makes dealing with fucking school. One of the best worst things that somebody ever told me was, I'm never gonna get mad at you for fighting if you don't start to fight. Here's where they fucked up. You never tell what qualifies as starting a fight. I'm short, I'm fat, I have a speech impediment. People talk shit, right? Now, anybody who knows me now or knew me when I was in the army or any of that shit, I could take a joke now. But when you're 8, 10, somebody talk about you, they started, right? And that's how it was. People keep starting fights with me. I used to walk around with a bald head. Even better. Bruh, you don't know how many times I would love looking forward going to get a haircut because I knew for a fact I was going to get into a fight behind it. Like, it was going to be one motherfucker slap me across the back of the head, and that was it. But that's actually starting a fight. Being struck, being hit, that's starting a fight. Being talked about, that's fucking kid shit. You can let that shit go. But no one told me that. So what I'm saying is why is it that most single women, and again, maybe I only have a frame of reference with black women who have kids, but you married right now, you can look. I ain't gonna tell your wife, and it's only between us and my 700 Facebook friends. Like, if you got stories of when you were single and you could hear like the girls you were dating or whatever, and how they interacted with their kids and shit. Bruh, let me tell y'all this shit. I had this one motherfucker, no bullshit. She literally told me she told her people that she got pregnant. And like her grandmother or her mom or somebody said, oh, I always wanted to have a grandkid, because I'm guessing they were old or whatever, right? And she said, all right, I'm going to have this kid, but y'all going to take care of him. And she told me that shit like, yo. Like, that bitch literally just said she had the kid just so somebody else could take care of it. That's going to be somebody else's concern. Fuck it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And here's the shit. Here's the shit that has other ongoing thinking, or this is another thing that leads into further thinking, right? If you have a son, if you're raising a son, and you teach him, listen, you do the right thing, or else I'm gonna fuck you up, right? And let's say you die, and let's say he gets a girl pregnant. He no longer has to do the right thing because his punishment is gone. So now you got motherfuckers out here giving... Now again, I'm not saying that this is everybody's problem, or this is what most niggas are doing, but what I'm saying is that this is how rotten niggas are... This is how rotten niggas develop. Like, man, how many times do you see shit that happens that motherfuckers don't fucking... What's the word? That motherfuckers act with no regard for the consequences. Because these are motherfuckers who never had to deal with those consequences before. Because the consequence to them is something way smoother than what it is in the real world. Man, if I steal this car, my dad gonna fuck me up. As opposed to, if I steal this car and get caught, the cops gonna come. And if the cops come, I'm going to jail for life. And I have no time to be fighting some 13-year vet who just been lifting weights and thinking about fucking somebody with a nice fucking smooth bald head or something. You know what I mean? So that's the shit. Like, nobody thinks about that. Think about this. If you were raised in a certain way that you didn't like, why the fuck do you raise somebody else in that same scenario, in that same way? Now, let me jump back to what my previous statement was all about entirely. If you have a parenting style where you teach your kids, or even you teach yourself, because again, some people aren't motivated by internal. Hey, how many of y'all go to work just so y'all can get paid, just so y'all have money? Not because you want to go to work and be happy and then be fulfilled and then also find, money, whatever. Again, it's all about finding a personal motivation for you. This psychology class I'm taking now, I fucking love this class. I missed a whole week of assignments, and I did them today in 2 hours. When I missed 2 days of one, I think it was either a math class or an English class, and I had to make that shit up, and that shit took fucking forever because I hated it. But if I had something when I'm working on something that I enjoy doing, like these videos, I make these videos because I enjoy making these videos. I find time to do these things. I look forward to fucking talking to motherfuckers, or talking about motherfuckers, or doing whatever the fuck I want to do to motherfuckers, and enjoy doing this shit. This is the difference between being motivated intrinsically and extrinsically. Extrinsic factors, that shit'll leave. Oh man, why you going out and performing? Man, I'm trying to make this money so I can get all these bitches. But when the money gone, the bitches gone, then what you gonna do? You gonna still make music because you like it, or you gonna make music because you want to get money? Alright, I'm off my soapbox. Any of y'all enjoyed this? Like it and all that good shit. If you don't, and if you think I'm full of shit, fucking comment on it and tell me where I fucked up at. Or if any of y'all got suggestions what you want me to talk about, or any shit you want to see, or you want me to see and go in about, let me know. Alright, y'all. Y'all be good. Peace.